Daya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Ram. Tomorrow is Sri Ramanavami, the auspicious appearance day of Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who came to this material world to set ideals for human behavior. So we are now going to read the last part of the first chapter of Balakanda, which is going to conclude, which is going to talk about the conclusion of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. So there are a few interesting shlokas which describe about what was the nature of administration during Lord Ramachandra's ruling this world, the opulences of Rama Rajya, and we also are going to hear from Narad Muni the benefits of hearing Rama Katha. So let us quickly begin. Text 81. ततोऽग्निवचनात् सीतां ज्ञात्वा विगतकल्मषां बभौ रामसमहृष्टः पूजितः सर्वदैवतैः. Then, by getting to know that Sita was devoid of any contamination from Agni's testimony, Rama shone with complete delight and was honored by all the demigods. So, after the Agni Pariksha of Mother Sita, we discussed yesterday, I mean, day before yesterday, it was not that Lord Rama had any doubt on Mother Sita's character, but in order to glorify her true position to the whole world, and also to recover the original Sita who was with Agni Deva in the custody of Agni Deva, Lord Ramachandra performed this Leela of Sita's Agni Pariksha. So when Mother Sita came out of the fire, then all the Devatas appeared there and they showered flowers on Mother Sita and Lord Rama. Text 82. कर्मणा तेन महता त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरम् सदेव ऋषिगणं तुष्टं राघवस्य महात्मनः. By the great activity of killing Ravana, the three worlds, including the moving and non-moving, as well as the devas and rishis, became satisfied with Raghava, whose nature was great. Actually, the main purpose of Lord Ramachandra's appearance in this material world is not killing of Ravana. As far as killing of Ravana was concerned, Lord, the Supreme Lord, could have done it even without coming to this material world. All of us, we are living in this material world on the earthly planet. We need oxygen to breathe, right? The Lord could have simply cut off the oxygen supply of Ravana, and immediately Ravana would have died. Or the Lord seated in his heart. Lord is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. If the Paramatma leaves the body, then the Atma also leaves the body and the person dies. So the Lord who is already seated within the heart of Ravana could have just left the body of Ravana and instantly Ravana would have died. So the main purpose of Lord Rama's appearance is not just killing Ravana, but the main purpose is to display his pastimes in this material world in order to show his favor upon the devotees of the Lord. That is why the Lord appears in this material world. So, killing of Ravana was just a side effect of Lord Rama's appearance in this material world. Right? So, here it is said after Ravana was killed by Lord Ramachandra, the whole world, all the three worlds in this material world, upper, middle, and lower planetary systems, who were all harassed by Ravana's atrocities, they were all very happy. They were finally satisfied Oh, now this demon Ravana, who had caused so many miseries for us, has died. Right? So, Ramayana is also teaching us that we should not lead a life in such a way that others will be waiting when this person will die. That is Ravana's nature. Ravana was had created problems for the whole world. The whole world was waiting when this fellow will die, isn't it? So when Ravana died, everyone celebrated. Everyone was happy. We celebrate the Vijaya Dashmi festival to celebrate the death of Ravana and Kumbhakarna at the hands of Lord Ramachandra. So Ramayana is teaching us how to live through the example of Lord Rama. The same Ramayana is also teaching us how we should not live through the example of Ravana, right? So the whole world rejoiced when Ravana was killed by Ramachandra. Text 83. Abhishitya cha lankayam rakshasendram vibhishanam कृतकृत्यस्तदा रामो विज्रवः प्रमुमोदः. After coronating Vibhishana as the king of the Rakshasas at Lanka, Rama then considered all of his purposes accomplished. Free from all anxieties, he then became very happy. So finally, Vibhishana was coronated as the king of Lanka. Vibhishana was a great devotee of the Lord, and we all know Vibhishana was in Lanka. He was trying to give good advice to Ravana every now and then. Every time Vibhishana would give advice, Ravana would get irritated. Ravana would insult Vibhishana. When Sattvic people give advice to people who are in Rajoguna and Tamoguna, demoniac people, they will never take the advice seriously. Among the three brothers, Ravana represented Rajoguna. Kumbhakarna, who was always sleeping, he represented Tamoguna. And Vibhishana, who was a great devotee of the Lord, who always used to give good advice to Ravana, he represents Sattvaguna. So Vibhishana's leaving Lanka is very important lesson for us. Where there is predominance of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, devotees should not live in such place. Devotees should give up the association of people who are driven by Rajoguna and Tamoguna. That is why Vibhishana gave up Lanka and he came to the shelter of Lord Ramachandra. This also shows that devotees should reject things which are unfavorable for bhakti and accept the association of devotees, which is very favorable for bhakti. This is what Vibhishana is teaching us. And during the war, Vibhishana disclosed all the secrets of Ravana, Indrajit, and other demons. And he greatly served Lord Ramachandra in this way. And being pleased by the services rendered by Vibhishana, Lord Ramachandra coronated Vibhishana as the king of Lanka. So, in this way, Lord Ramachandra established a devotee as the king of Lanka. For so many years, Lanka was ruled by demons like Ravana and others. And now Ramachandra established Vibhishana of noble character, who was a great devotee. That means even Lanka became Rama Rajya. Not only the India, not only Ayodhya and the entire India became full of Rama Rajya, Rajya's influence, but Ramachandra, all over the world, he sent his representatives to rule all over the world according to Dharma. Therefore, Rama Rajya prevailed on the entire planet with headquarters at Ayodhya, right? So, Lanka also became Rama Rajya, part of Rama Rajya. That is the greatness of Lord Ramachandra. Another interesting thing we can see here, Ramachandra did not say, now I'm going to add Lanka into my kingdom. I'm going to extend my kingdom and make Lanka also subordinate to me. No, that was not the mood of Ramachandra. Ramachandra wanted Vibhishana to continue to rule the Rakshasas at Lanka. But since Vibhishana was a devotee of Rama, Rama Rajya, the principles of Rama prevailed in Lanka. This was the way Ramachandra increased or expanded his kingdom, not by physical force, but by making devotees all over the world. Right? So, if all over the world people become Krishna conscious, then the whole world will become Rama Rajya. And that is why Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the world to preach Krishna consciousness. And it is our duty to spread this Krishna conscious message to more and more people around us. Then we can really bring Rama Rajya even in Kali Yuga. It is possible only through preaching. We should not wait that somebody else will come and do this job. No, it is our special prerogative. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered anyone who has taken birth in India should preach Krishna consciousness. First, one should practice Krishna consciousness, make his life perfect, and also preach Krishna consciousness to more and more people. This is a specific duty of every Indian as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's divine order. So let us all try to follow this. We should practice and we should also preach Krishna consciousness. Then we can actually bring Rama Rajya, the happiness, the prosperity in Kali Yuga also. Right? Text 84. देवताभ्यो वरं प्राप्य समुत्थाप्य च वानरम् अयोध्यां प्रस्थितो रामः पुष्पकेण सुहृद्व्रतः. Having obtained a boon from the celestials, the Devatas, Rama gave life to the monkeys who had died on the battlefield. Surrounded by his well wishers, he departed from Ayodhya on the Pushpaka airplane. Actually, after the battle was over, after Ravana was defeated, and all the Vanaras, headed by Ramachandra, Vanara army was victorious, then the Devatas, headed by Indra, appeared there to personally congratulate Ramachandra and to glorify Ramachandra. Lord Brahma appeared, Lord Shiva also appeared, and all these Devatas appeared. And the Devatas told Ramachandra that we are very pleased with your uh, defeating Ravana. Ravana had created problem for all the 14 planetary systems and the residents of all those planets. He was a terrorist. He had conquered everywhere and he had made everyone forcefully subjugate, listen to him. So he had created a lot of problem. So when Ravana was killed, all the devatas were pleased and they all appeared there. They showered flowers on Ramachandra, glorified him. And then the devatas requested Ramachandra, we want to give you some benediction. Please accept some benediction. Of course, the Supreme Lord is the one who gives benediction even to the Devatas. But here, since Ramachandra is playing the role of a human being, he accepted the benedictions offered by the Devatas. And then he asked, O Devatas, if at all you want to give any benedictions for me, I ask you that all these Vanara soldiers who have given up their lives for my sake on the battlefield, all of them should be brought back to life. So, in this way, all the Devatas offered this benediction that all the Vanaras who had died on the battlefield, they all came back to life. Mrita Vanara Jivitaya Namaha. This is one of the names of Lord Ramachandra. He brought back all the Vanaras back to life. From this, we understand that whoever serves the Lord, they are benefited both materially and spiritually. Materially, also, the Lord will make sure that the devotee, he lives, as long as he lives in this material world, he lives happily, he lives without any miseries, and at the end of his life, he will get liberation from this cycle of birth and death. So, all the Vanaras came back to life by the blessings of Lord Rama and all the Devatas, and surrounded by all the well wishers like Hanuman, Sugriva, Angada, Jambavan, and Vibhishana, and many of his well wishers, Ramachandra went back to Ayodhya on the Pushpaka Vimana. So Pushpaka Vimana till then was being used by Ravana, and now Ravana was killed, therefore it came to the possession of Vibhishana, who became the king of Lanka. And Vibhishana said, first time I have got this Pushpaka Vimana, I want to use it in your service, O Lord Ramachandra. Please board this Pushpaka Vimana along with Mother Sita, and all of us will let us go to Ayodhya. We want to personally witness your opulence in Ayodhya as the king of Ayodhya. We want to witness the Pattabhisheka of your great of Ramachandra. Therefore, please take us all with you. So, in this way, Pushpaka Vimana, mounting the Pushpaka Vimana, Ramachandra, surrounded by all his devotees, and Mother Sita, Lakshmana, and everybody, they went to Ayodhya. Text 85. भरद्वाजाश्रमं गत्वा रामः सत्यपराक्रमः भरतस्याङ्कितं रामो हनुमन्तं व्यसर्जयत्. Rama went to Bharadwaja's ashrama. Being heroic in his truthfulness, Rama sent Hanuman to Bharat. Very interesting. While coming from Ayodhya, Ramachandra had gone to Triveni Sangama. He also went to Bharadwaja's ashrama there on the banks of Ganga. And he had mentioned that on the way back I shall meet you again. So Ramachandra is called Satya Parakramaha. He is known for his truthfulness. Therefore, he kept up his promise. He met his dear friend Guha, and also he went to Bharadwaja ashrama. And then, meanwhile, he quickly sent Hanuman to meet Bharata, because Bharata had taken a vow that even a few minutes, if you come late, if you don't come, I will exactly wait for 14 years, Rama. Even if you are delayed by a few minutes, I will give up my life. So Ramachandra was conscious of this. Therefore, in advance, before reaching Ayodhya, Ramachandra asked Hanuman to fly quickly and go to Nandigrama on the outskirts of Ayodhya to give the good news to Bharata that Ramachandra is coming back, and he would be in a few moments, he will be in Ayodhya. So this shows how Ramachandra is so conscious of every devotee's uh, his heart, his feelings. When we offer prayers to the Lord, we should not think that, oh, whether Lord is hearing my prayers or not. I'm chanting Hare Krishna mantra every day. Is he really conscious of my chanting? We should not have any such doubt. The Lord surely listens to our prayers and our chanting. If we offer our prayers and if we do our chanting with love and devotion, the Lord will accept our devotional service. And in return, He will reciprocate with our genuine feelings of love and devotion. This is what we get to know. So Ramachandra was very conscious that Bharata, he should not give up his life, even if it becomes a few moments late. He should actually he should not do a hasty decision of giving up his life. Therefore, he sent Hanuman in advance to inform Bharata about his arrival. So, very interesting incident it is. Text 86. Punarakhyakhikam jalpan sugriva sahitastada pushpakam tat samaruhya nandigramam yayau tada. Then Rama again ascended the Pushpaka airplane with Sugriva, that is from Bharadwaja's ashrama, and while talking about the events concerning Bharata, immediately went to Nandigrama, where Bharata resided. A very interesting thing. After meeting Bharadwaja Rishi, and after sending Hanuman, again the Lord mounted his Pushpaka Vimana along with all his associates. And while the Vimana was taking the Lord to Nandigrama, the outskirts of Ayodhya, where Bharata was staying, on the way, they did not simply go silently. Ramachandra was speaking, he was glorifying the character of Bharata. He was speaking about the glories of Ayodhya city. He was glorifying the residents of Ayodhya. So, in this way, he was actually speaking. Punar Akhyakikam Jalpan. Jalpan means talking. right? He was talking about Bharata, his dear brother, and all the residents of uh, Ayodhya city. So, just like the devotees are always engaged in glorifying the Lord is also engaged in glorifying his pure devotees. That is what we understand. Text 87. Nandigrame jatam hitva bhratrubhi sahito nagha Rama Sita manuprapya rajyam punaravaptavan. Reunited with his brothers, Rama was free from distress. At Nandigrama, he gave up his matted hair. Then he again obtained his kingdom with Sita beside him. So, as soon as the Lord reached Nandigrama, Pushpaka Vimana reached, the Lord got down from the Vimana along with Mother Sita and Lakshmana and all the associates who had accompanied Rama. And then he saw Bharata there. He saw his three mothers. Kaikeyi had actually repented for the entire 14 years for her mistake, and she also had been pardoned by Bharata. And then Vasishta Muni had come. Everybody, all the residents of Ayodhya, they had come there, assembled there, because they were getting to see the Lord after 14 years of separation. It is explained in Valmiki Ramayana. For the entire 14 years, all the residents of Ayodhya did not have any festivities, any celebrations, any family functions in their house. The whole 14 years, they were simply they were lamenting. They were waiting for Ramachandra's appearance back in Ayodhya, and they were all immersed in an ocean of grief. So at the moment they saw Ramachandra, it was as though their life came back into their bodies, and they were all rejuvenated. And Bharata was so happy that my Lord has come back, and Ramachandra was also very happy. He also felt very happy coming back to Ayodhya. Then Vasishta Muni told the two brothers, the three brothers, in fact, Rama, Lakshmana, and Bharata, to give off, give up their matted hairs, jata, that they had accepted during as Vanavasis. Bharata was also living like a Vanavasi. He had also tied up his hair like a Rishi. So Vasishta Muni asked all of them to give up their matted hairs, and then they came back to the palace, and duly coronation, Pattabhisheka of Ramachandra was performed. And this Pattabhisheka of Ramachandra was attended by all the devatas, headed by Brahma, Shiva, and all the devatas, Indra, everybody had come. Sapta Rishis had come to witness the Pattabhisheka of Ramachandra, and all the devatas, 33 crore devatas had come. They were all very happy. They considered their lives to be perfect for getting an opportunity to witness personally the Pattabhisheka of Lord Ramachandra. So, from this whole incident, we understand how Ramachandra is so detached. He displayed the opulence of detachment as we discussed in the second session. He was not particularly interested in governing, becoming the king. He was not interested in the royal opulence. He was very happy going to the forest to keep up the words of his father. But when he came back, he duly accepted the throne of Ayodhya as a matter of duty, but he was not attached. So he's going to the forest and now coming back to the kingdom of Ayodhya and accepting the throne. Both he did in a detached manner, just for performing his duty for dharma. He accepted the throne of Ayodhya. Otherwise, he was not interested. So, from this, we should understand that how, when Krishna blesses us with some opulence, or by Krishna's plan, we become separated from our opulence, both in both circumstances, we should stay grounded, very well knowing that all these opulence belong to Krishna, belong to the Lord. Lord is just giving me for some time being, and if the Lord wants, He can take away from me also. But all that I should be worried about as a devotee is I should never lose the opulence of bhakti. That is the real opulence, which can give me ultimate good. I should not be interested in material opulences. Lord Ramachandra is teaching us. Right? Let us see what happened next after he became the king. How did he govern the kingdom? Let us see. Very beautifully, Valmiki Rishi, Narad Muni describes this. Text 88. प्रहृष्टमुदितो लोकस्तुष्टः पुष्टः सुधार्मिकः निरामयो हि अरोगश्च दुर्भिक्षभयवर्जितः. How was Rama Rajya? How was the governance of Ramachandra? The ideal state, ideal government. It is described here. The people became exceptionally delighted and happy. Prahrushtaha. Hrushta means happy. When you add the upasarga, when you add the prefix pra, it becomes prahrushtaha. They were extremely delighted. Pra means extremely, exceptionally. Just like we have the word prahlada. Hlada means happiness. Prahlada means always, immersed in an ocean of bliss, exceptional bliss. That is prahlada. So all the residents of Ayodhya during the Rama Rajya, they were exceptionally delighted and they were happy. They were satisfied. They were nourished. Now that Ramachandra came back, they really became happy. All celebrations in their life began by the advent of Ramachandra. And we all know when Ramachandra came back to Ayodhya, the citizens of Ayodhya celebrated by lighting up the whole Ayodhya with lamps. So that was Diwali, Deepavali. Deepa Avali. Avali means series. Deepa means lights. Series of lights they lit up. The entire city of Ayodhya came back to life with this when Ramachandra came back. So they were all satisfied, nourished, and because Ramachandra was a follower of Dharma and he was ruling the kingdom, all the citizens of Ayodhya also followed Dharma very strictly. Yatha Raja Tatha Praja, it is said. As the king, so the citizens. So they all became dharmikaha. Of course, they were all dharmikaha, but now they became sudharmikaha. Even more dharmika they became because Ramachandra is ruling them. And then, very interesting, they became free from bodily diseases, emotional calamities, and fear of famine. So they became arogaha, niramayaha. Ama means body. Ama means bodily disease. Niramaya means free from bodily diseases. And they also became arogaha, which means they became free from mental illness also. There were no bodily illness. There was no mental illness for all the citizens of Ayodhya. So that is Ramarajya. So if the king is so pious, if the king is so dharmika, so religious, the result is there will be no untimely deaths in the kingdom. Everybody will have good health, both mentally and physically. If the king is not dharmika, if he is adharmika, then the result is all the citizens will suffer. That is what we are seeing in Kali Yuga. But Rama Rajya means nobody suffered from any kind of illness, both mental and physical. And there was no durbhiksha, there was no famine, no drought, bhayavarjitaha. No one had any kind of fear. Everybody lived very happily. So this is Rama Rajya. So Valmiki Muni describes further about Ramarajya. Very interesting descriptions. Text 89. Na putra maranam kinchit drakshyanti purusha kvachit naryascha vidhava nityam bhavishyanti pativrataha. No men at any place in Rama's kingdom and at any time during his rule were seeing death of their sons. The women actually, these are all told by Narad Muni in a future tense because Ramachandra is still not was still not the king. He was Narad Muni is foreseeing the activities of Ramachandra and telling Valmiki Rishi. So that's why future tense is used here. So No men at any place and at any time in Rama Rajya will see death of their sons. Actually, when the parents are living and if the children die in their lifetime, it is said to be uh, a result of one sinful activities or it is inauspicious. But during Rama Rajya, there was no chance for children to die in the presence of their parents. And also, women will never become widows and they will be devoted to their husbands. That means no woman will actually see or witness the death of her husband in her presence. So she will remain Sumangali. She will always remain auspicious. She will always have the company of her husband, her protector. So that is the effect of Rama Rajya. Text 90. न चाग्निजं भयं किञ्चित् नाप्सु मज्जन्ति जन्तवः न वातजं भयं किञ्चित् नापि ज्वरकृतं तथा. So, न चापि क्षुद्भयं तत्र न तस्करभयं तथा. All kinds of dangers were completely absent in Ramachandra's ruling. There will be no danger due to fire. None of the creatures will drown in water. There will be no danger due to air, Vata Bhayam. So there is no Vata Bhayam. Vata means air. And there will be no Agni Bhayam. There will be no forest fire and all such things. There will be no calamities because of fire or because of air. And then Na apsu majjanti jantavaha. Nobody will die because of drowning in water bodies. And then na jwaram kritam. Nobody will suffer from any kind of fever. Jwara means fever, where there is an increase in the bodily temperature. That is called jwara. So nobody will suffer from jwara also. Huh? And there will be neither danger due to hunger nor danger due to thieves. Shud bhayam. Shud means thirst and hunger. There will be no thirst and hunger experienced by the citizens of Ayodhya. And na taskara bhayam. Taskara means thief. We call Krishna as Makana Taskara, right? Makana Taskara, the thief of the butter. So, in the same way, here Taskara means thieves. There will be no thieves in Ayodhya because everybody will live in full opulence. Text 91. Nagarani cha rashtrani dhanadhanyayutani cha nityam pramudita sarve yatha kritayuge tatha. The cities and countryside, villages will be filled with wealth and grains. Everyone will always be very happy, like in Krita Yuga, that is Satya Yuga. So, if there is a good king, the king can bring good times. This is what Mahabharata says. Mahabharata says, Raja Kalasya Karanam. Who is responsible for good times and bad times? It is Raja. Raja Kalasya Karanam, it is said. If the king is pious, if the king is dharmika, and if he is ruling the kingdom as per dharma, and he is ensuring that everybody in his kingdom are following dharma, then whether one is in Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga, it doesn't matter. They will all be happy always. So the king is responsible for good times. Long back, there was one canvas, one kind of a promotion made by a political party. Achhe din aayenge, they used to say. Achhe din aayenge. Good times will come. Good days will come. So actually, this is in line with what the scriptures say. If the king is pious, then achhe din aayenge. If the king is not pious, there is no achhe din, only bure din, right? So during the time of Ramachandra, there was opulence everywhere in the cities and in the villages. There was good produce of grains. Nobody was having any scarcity of grains or wealth. So everybody was fully happy, just like people in Satya Yuga. This is what is told. That means Dharma was fully present in Satya Yuga. So therefore, there was no kind of shortage. There was no reason for sorrow in Satya Yuga. But in Treta Yuga, there was one pada of dharma became less, right? So dharma was standing in four legs in Satyuga. In Treta Yuga, three legs. In Dwapar Yuga, two legs. In Kali Yuga, only one leg. Hmm. So as the yugas proceed, the virtues decrease and the vices increase. When the vices increase, there will be more miseries. So proportion of miseries are increasing as yoga proceeds, as yugas progress. That means there was some kind of reason for miseries in Treta Yuga, right? Because some vices were there, which were not there in Satyuga. But because of Ramachandra's ruling, the Treta Yuga became as though it was Satya Yuga. That is what Narad Muni is saying. Text 92. Ashwamedha Shatairištva Tatha Bahusuvarnakaihi Gavam Kotyayutam Dattva Brahmalokam Prayasyati Asankheyam Dhanam Dattva Brahmanebhyo Mahayashaha. Now, what kind of religious activities Ramachandra performed? That is described here. Rama of great fame will perform several Ashwamedha and Bahu Suvarnaka sacrifices, give in charity millions of cows and immeasurable wealth to the Brahmanas, and then, after doing all this, the Lord will depart to the spiritual world. Right? Brahmaloka has got two meanings. Brahmaloka means the abode of Brahma within this material world. Brahmaloka also means the spiritual world where Supreme Brahman resides. Therefore, he is called Brahmaloka. So, Lord Ramachandra, while he was on this material world, he performed hundreds of Ashwamedha yajnas. See, yajna was the Yuga Dharma for Treta Yuga, and since Ramachandra was the king, he had to perform yajnas to set an example to everybody to follow Yuga Dharma. Just like Kali Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtana, and the Yugavatara of Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, personally performed, even though he is the Lord himself, but he performed the Harinam Sankirtan, playing the role of a devotee, to teach all of us by his personal example. In the same way, in Treta Yuga, the Yuga Dharma, Yuga Avatara was Ramachandra, and even though he is the Supreme Lord, he performed the yajnas, and yajnas are meant for worshipping Lord Vishnu. Yajno vai Vishnu. But he himself, Lord Vishnu himself, Ramachandra himself, performed yajna so that he sets a right example for the general people to follow. So he performed, and in all these yajnas, he gave a lot of charity of cows and wealth to the brahmanas. So in this way, Lord Ramachandra is teaching that giving charity is a very important quality of a king. The king has to give charity to the right people, to the brahmanas. So Ramachandra is teaching charity, he's teaching yajna, he's teaching tapasya, and all these three, yajna, dana, tapaha, Lord Krishna mentions in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, yajna, dana, tapaschaiva pavanani cha manishinaha. Even great personalities become purified by the performance of yajna, dana, and tapasya. So therefore, one should never give up yajna, dana, tapasya. That is what Krishna says in the end of Bhagavad Gita, in the 18th chapter. And Lord Ramachandra lived by this principle. He performed tapasya by going to the forest to establish dharma. Then he performed yajnas, and he also gave charity, dana, to the worthy brahmanas. Text 93. Rajavamshan shatagunan sthapasyati raghavah chaturvarnyam chalokesmin sve sve dharme niyokshyati. That descendant of Raghu will multiply the royal dynasties 100 times over. He will also have the four varnas in his kingdom carry out their respective varna dharmas and ashrama dharmas. Right? So he will maintain, Ramachandra will maintain the royal dynasties in the Treta Yuga. Actually, all the royal dynasties were very much harassed by the activities of Parashurama, because the royal so-called kings of Treta Yuga, they were misusing their powers. Instead of protecting the innocent people, they were misusing the powers out of their pride. Therefore, all such bad Kshatriyas were rooted out from this material world by Parashurama. So one Rama came and wiped out all the bad Kshatriyas. Another Rama came and established real Kshatriya dharma in this material world. Kshatriyas are required, right? Parashurama, he wiped out all the Kshatriyas from this material world, most of them, 99% of them, who were all adharmikas. But Kshatriya rule is required. Otherwise, how will uh, law and order be maintained in this material world? How otherwise, how will uh, it will be ensured? How will it be ensured that dharma is being followed? Kshatriya rule is required. So therefore, Ramachandra, he strengthened the Kshatriya rule in this material world, on this earthly planet. So he sent his sons to different directions, to different establish different kingdoms, and he also empowered Sugriva. He empowered Vibhishana and many other kings all over the world. He sent people to rule all over the world. If you study the ancient Egyptian history, there you will see the kings of Egypt. They were known as Ramesses, Ramesses I, Ramesses II, so on. They are known, named. So it shows the influence of Rama, Rama's influence even in Africa and many other countries. Even in Inca and Maya civilization of South America, we see the influence of Ramachandra. There are many such research works conducted. It's very interesting to note that. So the whole world was under Rama's supervision. The whole world was enjoying the privileges of Rama Rajya. The whole world was following the Sanatana Dharma under the guidance of Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra. So he was also making sure that everybody follows their respective Varnashrama dharmas. Varnashrama is very important, as Srila Prabhupada explains. In any civilized society, there has to be division of uh, spiritual orders and division of social orders. Only then there is proper structure in the society, and then everybody, according to their own guna, karma, swabhava, can practice spiritual life and attain perfection. So Ramachandra made sure that the Varnashrama duties are performed properly by everybody. Text 94. Dasha Varsha Sahasrani, Dasha Varsha Shatani cha, Ramo Rajyamupasitva, Brahma Lokam Gamishyati. After ruling over his kingdom for 11,000 years, Rama will go to the spiritual world. So here, as again I'm repeating, it is all mentioned in future tense because Narad Muni is foretelling the activities of Ramachandra to Valmiki Muni. Now here it is said, Dasha Varsha Sahasrani. Sahasrani means 1,000. Dasha Varsha means 10. Dasha Varsha Sahasrani, Dasha Varsha Shatani cha. So if together it comes to 11,000 years. So Lord Ramachandra ruled this earthly planet as an ideal king for 11,000 years. And then here the very beautiful word used by Narad Muni is Ramo Rajyam Upasitva. He didn't say Ramo Rajyam Shasanat Shasitva. He didn't say that. He didn't say Ramachandra ruled this earth for 11,000 years. He said Ramachandra Upasitva. That means he worshipped. Now, he conducted his ruling in such a way that he was detached from the royal opulence, but he performed his duty as a worship. Upasitva, upasana. His ruling of this kingdom was like an upasana, was a worship, right? Without being attached to the kingdom, he, as a matter of duty, he ruled the kingdom uh, to set an example for all the Kshatriyas to come. And then after that, the Lord wound up his Leelas and he entered the Sarayu river, and from there he went back to the spiritual world. Now, this was about the Ramayana. Now, last few verses, Narad Muni is going to talk about the glories of hearing Rama Katha. So let us hear that. Text 95. Idam pavitram papagnam punyam vedaischa sammitam yah pathed ramacharitam sarva papai pramuchyate. This brief description of the activities of Lord Rama is purifying. It destroys sinful reactions. It is auspiciousness. It is like the Vedas. He who studies it will be fully liberated from all sinful reactions. In fact, Narad Muni summarized the whole Ramayana in about 100 verses that we are seeing in this first chapter of Balakanda. Just by hearing the summary description of the Ramayana, what is the benefit? Narad Muni is saying, it idam pavitram, it is most purifying. Papagnam, it can destroy all sinful tendencies. Just by hearing the wonderful Ramacharitam, Punyam, it can bestow the highest piety. Vedaihi, this is non-different from the study of the Vedas. In fact, as it is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this Puranas and the Itihasas are considered to be Panchama Veda. They are the fifth Veda. It is meant for everybody, people in general, who cannot take up the difficult study of the Vedas, can simply derive the same benefit of studying the Vedas by studying Ramayana and Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavatam, especially recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Vedaishcha Sammitam, it is as good as Vedas. Narad Muni is saying, Yav Pathed Ramacharitam Sarvapapai Pramuchyate. Anybody who chants the Ramacharitam, Pathed means to, to chant, to recite, such a person becomes free from all kinds of sinful reactions and he becomes liberated. So not only Pathed, but even Shrunuya, even by hearing Ramacharitam, one can become purified of all sinful tendencies. Text 96. Etadakhyanam ayushyam pathan Ramayanam naraha saputra pautra saghana pretya swarge mahiyate. So, first benefit is for those who are spiritually minded, those who hear devotees of the Lord, who hear Rama Katha, who don't have any material desires. For them, they become free from all sinful reactions just by hearing Ramayana and they can go back to the spiritual world. What about the people who are having material desires? What about them? Here it is said, a person studying this Ramayana narration that grants vital power will become honored in the supreme abode after the final destruction of his body, along with his sons, grandsons, dependents, and friends. Right? So here it is said, Swarge. Here Swarga refers to, Swarga could refer to the upper planetary systems within this material world, and it could also refer to the spiritual world based on the consciousness of a person. As Krishna says in the ninth chapter, if one worships the devatas, one will go to the devata lokas. If one worships the pitrus, one will go to pitru loka. If one worships the supreme lord, one will go to the supreme lord's abode in the spiritual world, which is free from all anxieties, Vaikuntha. So here it is said, if a person studies this Ramayana nicely, then he can go to the supreme abode of the Lord. And if he is having material desires, yeah, he can attain Swarga also within this material world. So everything is possible. Now, here, uh, one interesting thing is Ramayana, the name of this book which Valmiki Rishi is going to write in the future. That name is told by first time by Narad Muni himself. While instructing about the summary of Ramayana, this Ramayanam, the word comes in the shloka. Narad Muni has already told this. Later on, uh, Valmiki Muni, while expanding, he says, this book, what I'm writing, has got three names. One name is given by my spiritual master Narad Muni, that is Ramayana. Ramayana means the activities of Lord Rama, the path traversed by Lord Rama. Ramasya Ayanam iti Ramayanam. Ayana means the path traversed by Lord Rama. That means his great character. That is what is described in Ramayana. Then he gives two more names. Sitaya Charitam Mahat. This Ramayana is also called Sitaya Charitam Mahat, the great character of Mother Sita. And then he gives another name, Paulatsya Vadha. Paulatsya is the grandson of Pulatsya Muni, that is Ravana. Ravana's Vadha. Vadha means death. Generally, any story, you can have three perspectives: hero, heroine, and villain. So, this Valmiki Muni has given names for all three perspectives. It is Ramayana, it is Sitayam Charitam Mahat, it is also Paulatsya Vadha, the death of Ravana. Text 97. This is the last shloka, I believe, in this chapter. So it is said, Pathan dvijo va grishabhatvam iyat, syat kshatriyo bhumipatitvam iyat, vanikjana panya phalatvam iyat, janascha shudropi mahatvam iyat. Iyat, iyat. Four times after every line, Narad Muni is saying, iyat means he'll attain. Yeah, this is the last shloka of this chapter. So it says, Pathan dvijo va grishabhatvam iyat. A Brahmana who studies or chants, studies this Ramayana, will attain uh, Vag Rishabhatvat, Vag Rishabhatvam. He will attain mastery over speech. Syat Kshatriyo Bhumi Patitvam. If a Kshatriya studies this Ramayana, he will attain overlordship of the earth. Bhumi Patitvam. He'll become an emperor. And then Vanik Janaha Panya Palatvam Iyat. If a Vanik means uh, that is a Vaishya, a businessman. If he studies Ramayana with great faith, he will attain financial prosperity. He will become very prosperous. And Janascha Shudropi Mahatvamiya. A Shudra, if he studies this Ramayana, he'll become a great personality. Mahatvam. He'll become a great person. He attains greatness. That means why different kinds of results are suggested for different categories of people? Because it means that whatever is one's desires, one can attain just by studying Ramayana. Studying Ramayana means after studying Ramayana, you become a devotee of Rama. That is a proof that you have studied and understood Ramayana properly. Not like today's upstarts. After studying Ramayana, they say Ravana is a good person. Ravana should have been the hero. So these are all not the people who have really studied Ramayana. So people who have really studied Ramayana, they will become devotees of Rama. And by the blessings of Rama, all their material desires also will be fulfilled. That is the meaning of this shloka. Whatever may be a material desire of a material person, those material desires also will be fulfilled. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham, in other words, as Gita says. Whatever is required for a devotee or for anybody who becomes a devotee after studying Ramayana, Lord will fulfill all his material desires as well. That means Brahmana will generally want uh, linguistic advantages. Kshatriya will want administrative advantages. Vaishya will want financial advantages. And a Shudra will want his name and fame to be, greatly well widespread. So all these kinds of benefits will be attained by becoming a devotee of Rama. And of course, as Srila Prabhupada has taught us, we should not make devotional service a matter of transaction, right? We should pray to the Lord to simply engage us in his loving devotional service. And that itself is the greatest reward. Simply to be fixed up in devotional service to the Lord is the greatest reward. So tomorrow, on the occasion of Rama Navami, we are all going to observe fasting. It is recommended to observe fasting till sunset. And all the while, we should remember the Lord. We should remember the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. We should meditate upon his wonderful qualities. We should chant his holy names. We should chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra more and more. And in this way, Ramayana, the goal of studying Ramayana is to become dear to Ramachandra, to come closer to Ramachandra. That is the purpose of studying Ramayana and the purpose of observing the vrata of Upavasa on Ramanavami. So I request all of you, whatever we have heard in the 5 days of this Rama Katha, try to recollect them tomorrow more and more. Try to meditate on the wonderful qualities of Ramachandra. Make Ramachandra as an ideal in our life. We should follow in his footsteps. It is not possible to imitate Krishna's activities, but it is very much possible to follow in the footsteps of Ramachandra, who has set such great ideals. Even if we could attain 0.001% of wonderful qualities of Ramachandra, then our life is actually successful. We should try to follow in Ramachandra's footsteps. That is the meaning of celebrating Ramanavami. It is a festival of character building. Ramanavami is a festival meant for building our character, keeping Ramachandra as our role model. And we should observe fasting so that we become attached to Ramachandra and we become his Hanuman. We should actually try to serve Ramachandra with all our abilities. We should pray to Lord Ramachandra tomorrow. Please engage me in your service, my dear Lord. Please give me attachment to hear about you, to render devotional service unto you. So I request all of you to please visit our temple in the evening. We have celebrations. We have folk special event at 4 o'clock in Multivision Theatre. Please do come and participate in the folk celebrations. And following that, you will also get an opportunity to participate in the Ramanavami Temple Festival celebrations. You will get an opportunity to witness the special darshan of Krishna Balaram as Rama and Lakshmana. And Ramachandra says, if you just come to me once and tell, I belong to you, O Rama, you just have to tell once, then Rama will take charge of your life. So we just have to come tomorrow to the temple with all sincerity that we can gather, with all devotion, with all humility. We should go in front of Rama Lakshmana and say, my dear Lord, I belong to you. Please take charge of my life. We should say this and we should commit to practice devotional service the way Srila Prabhupada has instructed us by chanting, by reading, by hearing, by rendering service in the association of devotees, then surely we will achieve the blessings of Lord Ramachandra. So with this, we come to the end of Sri Rama Katha. Thank you all for joining. जय श्री राम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय श्री राम नवमी महा महोत्सव की जय विश्व गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.